Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming along. Today, requested video. It's from our good friend Darren over at WC21 UK Productions Limited. It's a mouthful. I love Darren. He's been just wonderful to us over here at our channel. And he's, of course, blessed us with the okay to watch and learn. He does some unique things. That's what I love about Darren. We're not going to see this really anywhere else, the stuff that he looks at. And it's going to be a lot of stuff that I have really zero knowledge about. But it's just interesting. I don't know what any of this is today. The video is called Field of the Dead. And okay. We're going to find out exactly what it is. But before we do, please, there'll be two links below, one to his channel and one to this video. So you don't have to listen to me talk about it. It could just be him. I believe it's not very long. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you just a quick video of me just taking a video of my trip to Palm Springs, just kind of what the house looked like. A lot of you have asked for photos and stuff like that of what the house looked like. It was an amazing time. Had a blast. Good group of people celebrating a birthday. I have to say, I'm really still tired. Still recovering from that weekend, but a ton of fun. And I'll show just a quick little video of our Palm Springs Ventura. It's really basically a house tour. I think it's just all it is, but just gorgeous location where we're at and the whole bit. But please go down there and support Darren. It is really important that you get over there and support Darren and WC21 UK Productions Limited and his channel. Original content creators are the lifeblood of our channel, as that's who we get to learn from and see new incredible things. So it's important that you get over there and support them. If you have one like and one subscription, give it to Darren today. And let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? All right, let's do it. Boom and boom. North Yorkshire. All right.
Welcome to the Field of the Dead.
Ooh, someone new today. Is that the missus?
This is my husband's idea of a day out with his wife.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
So, we've had a number of requests for my missus to join in with a video, and you've wholeheartedly decided to join in today, haven't
Awesome.
you?
I have.
And we're going to be looking at a fascinating prehistoric site that was described in 1892, I think it was, by Harry Spate as the Field of the Dead.
Interesting. Okay. Feel like, were they buried people?
We're on the western edge of the Yorkshire Dales above Stackhouse, which may sound like a 1990s restaurant chain, but is in fact a hamlet, although we walked in from Fraser because it has a good tea room, a really good tea room.
Nice.
It's a rugged upland limestone plateau, and we had two attempts at this investigation. The first on New Year's Eve ended up being in the eye of the storm. The second visit may look a lot more pleasant, but we were up against sub-Arctic temperatures, and my poor wife ended up frozen as she sat on walls whilst I faffed around on ancient monuments. I mean, look at me here, motoring ahead and leaving her to deal with all the gates. The single-mindedness of the antiquarian. Okay, darling, so just over there we have the Apronful of Stones, which is a Late Neolithic, early Bronze Age burial cairn, much damaged in the 18th century, but we've got some really interesting history, and it is just a part of this field of the dead that we're looking at today. There is some mumbo jumbo. Will you pick that up?
Right up my street.
That is right up your street, isn't it? Right, let's to it. Right, come on then, let's go. So, you'll have to excuse the sniffing. It's very, very cold today. This is the Apronful of Stones. Now, as you can see, it's pretty trashed. We have a record from the Gentleman's Magazine. I love the idea of a Gentleman's Magazine. From 1784, and the author of that is somebody called WF. Visited this when it was semi-destroyed, and he'd spoken to locals, and they remembered this being complete. So we would have had a sort of a conical shaped stone structure on the top here, and then this stone here, this magnificent stone here, sat on the top. I don't know if you can imagine what this was like. We'll perhaps have to try some state-of-the-art technology to see if we can recreate it. But it was really quite a structure. So whoever was buried here 4,500 odd years ago probably was quite important. Now, interestingly, these 18th century reports tell us that they found disarticulated bones in here. And that's one of the ways we know that it could be as old as early Neolithic. No cremation, basically. The bones were sort of in compartments. I mean, it is impressive, but it isn't a real shame that it has been trashed in this way.
Disturbed, yeah.
When he had a good look in the around 1892, felt that it had fallen victim to treasure hunters, but they were disappointed. All they found was bones, and there are claims they found a tusk, but that's pretty unlikely. Here's our attempt at a recreation of what it may have looked like before the treasure hunters got to it.
It would be kind of difficult to imagine, well, for me it's imagining that these stones, how they're lifted and stuff like that. So I'm assuming if you see stones like this, large, out of place, oddly stacked on one another, you figure it's something. But yeah, of course I have zero knowledge in this field of expertise, so I would walk right on by that, not even thinking twice. I'm curious about the stone wall, though, that we're seeing in the background. What the significance of that is, just a property, lining someone's property. It's interesting, though, what that wall looked like. It took a ton of work to put together, but interesting. Really cool that she joined him on this little adventure. It looks like a wonderful day, not a cloud in the sky, but they're saying it's very cold.
The stones would have been a lot smaller than in our pathetic effort here, but it gives you an idea of it. It's a round cairn of massive proportions, about 10 feet tall, according to WF in the 18th century, but 5 foot in Adam Morgan Ibbetson's excellent book. He has one on Cumbria too. I'm not being paid to say that. 59 feet in diameter. It is useful having Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited with me here today. So
it's a mouthful.
I've got her to stand on what is roughly the northern edge of the burial cairn, and that's on a winter solstice. I can't remember if it's sunset or sunrise alignment. I'll correct that down there. And our next feature here on the Field of the Dead is also on that alignment, so just slightly to the left of Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited there. Everything all right, darling?
Very cold.
Okay, so that's the Apronful of Stones. We'll pick up the mumbo jumbo shortly. Are you enjoying your day filming so far, darling?
I am.
Yeah? And I'm not doing that mansplaining thing that you warned me about, am I?
Little bit.
Cancelled, so I must be careful not to do mansplaining. Right, we're going to head off over that way now on the winter solstice alignment to have a look at our next feature. Shall we save ourselves from the cold and do a teleport?
I think so.
Right, okay, so here goes.
Sheep Scars Circle.
There we are, that made it easy, didn't it?
A lot
That's
easier.
better. So this is Sheep Scar circle on that alignment from the Apronful of Stones. Okay, so I'm now going to proactively involve the missus to help in this demonstration. So if you could walk out into Sheep Scar Cairn, Sheep Scar Circle. Now, that name is misleading. It's not a stone circle. It's a really interesting monument, and the missus is now stood there in the middle next to an open kist. Obviously, it's been trashed later on. But that kist is actually later. This was originally kist-free. And the belief is that it was a site for funerary preparation. And then obviously later on they adapted it and made it into a burial cairn along with the others up here on the field of the dead. Now, we checked the notes while we was in the teleport thing. Mrs, can you now confirm this is aligned with the...
Summer solstice sunset and winter solstice sunrise.
That's it. So we've got the alignment perfect up here. It really is a very interesting monument, this one.
So this is the kist. We know that this is later than the original monument because in the 1800s excavation, they found earlier stone flint beneath it.
Okay, so that's a Sheep Scar Circle, but it's a cairn really, and previously was a funerary preparation centre, possibly even preparing the dead for the Apronful of Stones. We do need to come back and pick up that mumbo-jumbo on that in a bit. We're now going to head off over that way there to have a look at another feature on the field of the dead, a little bit more speculative, this one. So, up ahead of us over there...
Maybe that wall is surrounding this whole site. Maybe that's what the wall is for. I'm sure someone will let me know, but it's interesting. My naive and uneducated eyes and brain just look at this place as a field with rocks and an indention in the earth. It's amazing that people over time pass down the information, you know, and that it's still here. That's what's crazy about it.
There, darling.
Yes?
I don't know if you can see that sort of grassy knoll over there, but can you see how there's a line of stone around it?
I can.
So that is, well, it's obviously been adapted at some stage as an enclosure. Now, whether it's of the period that we're looking at here, I don't know. But I thought we're going to have a look at it anyway. What do you reckon, then? Is this a constructed enclosure wall? You know, it could be any period. It doesn't have to be our
they do
late
kind of look
Bronze Age period. But the idea is that this has been enclosed at some stage. Now, I'll have to rely on the old Google Earth scam to show you it because the drone is not coping with the temperature up here today.
Yeah, from up here.
It keeps falling over, basically.
Yeah, it does look like
it was
something.
Have a look at the Google Earth. See what you think. Now we've got up here, I think that the idea that this is a constructed enclosure is slightly off. I think you agree with me, Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited. This is natural, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. It looks very much like a limestone pavement as opposed to something that has been constructed. That's a little bit disappointing. I hope we'd better confirm that we had a prehistoric enclosure up here, but I don't think that we have. Let me know.
Really? Here, I was thinking it was looking
Mrs. WC21 Productions Limited is signing out now because the cold has got to you, hasn't it? How cold do you think it is today? You're an expert on the weather.
It's about -6.
Oh,
About
jeez.
-6. So she's now going to head back to the car, and I've got one more thing down here that I want to show you. So we'll say goodbye to you for now.
Bye-bye.
That really is disappointing. I had hoped to be able to claim to have made an amateur antiquarian discovery there, basically riffing off of somebody else's suggestion, but that is a natural feature. That's not a man-made enclosure up there. That's the thing with antiquarianism. You have to get out into the field to test your ideas, and sometimes in doing that, your idea is wrong. Anyhow, we've got something else to have a look at. I think there's another cairn over here.
Sheep Scar
without a doubt,
Cairn.
look at that. You can see where the top of it has been dug into yet again by some antiquarian of old. So that's 3 funerary monuments in a very small area up here. Now, long-term viewers of the channel may remember, like back in the summer last year, I had a look up that end of the plateau at an Iron Age, a purported Iron Age burial feature, the Celtic Wall. That created a lot of debates in the comments. But it does seem that over a long period, thousands of years, this has been a favoured spot for the dead. Oops, a break in continuity. I've lost my backpack. Headley will go mad. He's obsessed with continuity, by the way. Now, if you look over that way, I don't know if you can make out a line of trees just over the edge there. That's a wood called Borin's Wood. And there is a view that that name derives from this place having been a prehistoric burial ground. I mean, I don't know about Borin's Wood, and I need to make it clear before everybody goes mad at me in the comments that I'm not saying that this area was favoured for burials over thousands of years from the late Neolithic through the Bronze Age and into the Iron Age. It's all too easy as an amateur antiquarian to make that mistake. But clearly at this end of the plateau up here, we've got significant early Bronze Age, late Neolithic burials. Important people light this place.
Apronful of Stones. Sheepscar carrying. Dubious enclosures. Yeah, I would have thought that was unnatural.
2025. It's a fantastic place up here. Do come and have a look if you get the chance. It's been a difficult shoot. Long shadows and sub-zero temperatures have killed my drone. I'm going to have to get a proper one, aren't I? Buy me a coffee. It was lovely having
Please support
with
him.
me as well today. And I'm not being patronising or mansplaining or any of that sort of thing, but I was really impressed she lasted as long as she did. She hates the cold, and that's her prerogative, isn't it? So, unfortunately, I'm also going to have to pick up the mumbo-jumbo, aren't I? She was going to do that. So some people think the Apronful of Stones is not a prehistoric burial cairn. They think that the devil was on his way to Kirby Lonsdale to build his famous bridge, and he was carrying stones for that purpose in his apron. The devil has an apron, apparently. Did you know that? I didn't.
I didn't.
He dropped them, and they think that's what you're looking at, the devil's big stones. I'll let you decide which theory you prefer. And thank you for watching. See you next week for another video. She was going to do the ending as well.
Oh my gosh. Please go support Darren and the Mrs. WC21 Productions Limited, UK Productions Limited. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Interesting. Certainly, I have no clue about any of that stuff. The one thing I did get was North Yorkshire at the beginning, kind of where it was. But just interesting that they're just sitting out there like that. And you can just go and walk and check it out. Unfortunately, it looked like some people were trying to snoop around and dig things up. But yeah, this just shows you how limited my knowledge is. I would just look at those rocks and most of the time just go, not think twice about it. Or the kist, but I would just say, it's an indention in the ground or something. I wouldn't have, but there's a good thing there were people there long before us who saw something different and were luckily, wrote it down so future generations can decipher it, I guess. Yeah. Interesting, but I just love Darren's videos. They're just fun, and they're always these obscure things that you normally wouldn't see. So that is why I like his channel a lot, and I encourage you to get over there and support him. All right, I'm going to show you a quick little video of getting to Palm Springs and the house, and show you what I did this weekend a little bit. Okay. All right, so here we are in the car right down here. To get to Palm Springs from my house, you have to go through LA, kind of the outer skirts of LA, and then through what's called the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County area. And then you get into kind of the outer desert area, which has a bunch of Indian casinos. And then it opens up into this. I'll just hit play. This just miles and miles of these wind turbines. And you can't really tell how big this area is with these wind turbines, but it just goes on and on and on and on for miles with these wind turbines. And it's kind of fascinating just to stare at them. Here we are at the house, and I did have a shot of us driving up to the house, but forgot to put it into this. But the house is pretty secluded in this neighborhood. I use that in air quotes. There's a lot of big homes around this little area. It's kind of a secluded area, just in a place called Desert Palms, really. And it's just gorgeous with the mountains all around us. You can kind of see over here to the right, there's a little bit of snow still on top of the tallest of the peaks there. But impressive brick driveway with these little patches of fake grass, of course. Save on water. It is, after all, the desert. But with some interesting plant life. There's one of our neighbors over that way. Another neighbor up there on the hill. That was our closest one right there. But this is the lovely, lovely house. Just incredible with the solar panels. Makes sense. But there was I think 6 garages. Of course, the garages that were on the left did not allow cars in it, because you'll see later. But awesome entryway, as you saw the pool table over there. The photos that we got were definitely made it look bigger, but it still was very large. I thought that was an interesting clock. This is the shot. You can go out on the balcony. Every room seemed to have a balcony. Foosball table, because the chandeliers were interesting. That was our room. It said it seats. There was somebody in that room, so I couldn't go into that room down at the end of the hall. But those are rooms as well. That one right there is a closet, actually. Another bathroom. This wasn't the day we arrived. This was several days after I'd been there. This was cool because this is a place where someone could sleep. You could see one of the beds underneath there, but it was also the movie room where you could play movies on this giant screen. Had its own bathroom. Yeah, pretty cool. Even complete with gumball and popcorn machines. There's the projector. Yeah, pretty cool. And then this is the back stairs. But yeah, it said it seats or sleeps 23 people. Now this is the garage that was turned into a game room. Air hockey, basketball. That was my friend Ryan, who we saw earlier. Even little ping pong, what we would call shuffleboard. We sat in here and played loud music, played some games. That's the party outside that's happening. I'm gonna go back in. Another fridge. There was 3 refrigerators, which was nice. This is the kitchen after we had some whiskey, as you can see. And cooked all our meals. We cooked all our meals. We never left the property in the 4 days we were there. And everybody had responsibility for dinners. And of course, nobody was doing dishes at this point. We had a pool table in that room. It's kind of a seating area. Another TV. That's just behind the spiral staircase. We have another bedroom over here, which is really nice. And that is a door to the other garages. Very cool entryway though. I really enjoyed that. And now a little sitting room out here, which was if you wanted a little more peace and quiet, you can sit out here. Just there's our closest neighbor. Some artwork. Not sure why I took a photo of that, but there you go. But here we had a group of people that we were with. You can tell we were playing some golf. Just the backyard is amazing. At night, this place all lit up with these lights. It was really a lot of fun. Cornhole going on. I was not very good at cornhole. I just love how we're surrounded by the mountains here. Some random fruit tree. Fake grass, of course. Probably the spot where once the sun started going down, we spent most of the time over here at the fire pit. That was a lot of fun. It got pretty warm. And that was like the view we had every morning getting up, which was incredible. Just a lot of fun, and the people we were with were just wonderful. Our friends are just was just a wonderful time. The first day we were there, very cold. Thursday night, it rained all night long. Then Saturday, not a cloud in the sky. Or excuse me, Friday, not a cloud in the sky. Warmed up. We were able to get in the pool, and then this was shot on Saturday. And you can just see it's just gorgeous to wake up to this view every morning, and it warmed up pretty good, high 70s Fahrenheit, and completely a different atmosphere of what we just saw Darren and WC21 do and his adventure out in the bitter -6, I think is what they said. I can't imagine. That's way different. But the landscape was kind of like our own little adventure, and this was our own little paradise. It was a lot of fun, and I had a great time, and ready to get back and to learning and more of the other stuff. So thanks for hanging with me. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark